The Vrexian armada descended upon colony Perseus 7 like locusts from the void, their sleek warships blotting out the twin suns that had once bathed the settlement in golden light. Commander Catherine Jo stood on the command deck of the orbital defense platform, her dark eyes scanning the tactical display with calculated precision. Beside her, Clark Martinez gripped the edge of the console, his knuckles white against the metal. 63 capital ships, Clark muttered, his voice barely concealing the tremor beneath. They're not here to negotiate. Catherine's jaw tightened. They never are. The Vrexians had swept through the outer colonies like a plague, their military doctrine built on a simple premise: overwhelming force followed by systematic extermination. They viewed humanity as vermin, an infestation to be purged from worlds they deemed rightfully theirs. Perseus 7, with its rich deposits of quantum crystals and strategic location along the Kepler corridor, had been marked for acquisition. What the Vrexians didn't know was that humans had learned something crucial. During their expansion into the star's desperation bred innovation, and humanity's capacity for violence, when cornered, exceeded even their own understanding. Broadcast incoming, the communications officer announced. The main screen flickered to life, revealing the grotesque visage of War Prime Zarthuk, his chitinous faceplates gleaming beneath the harsh lights of his flagship's bridge. For mandibles clicked together as he spoke, the universal translator rendering his words into cold, mechanical English. Human settlement designated Perseus 7. Your existence here is terminated. Surrender your infrastructure intact, and we will grant you swift death. Resist, and we will make your suffering legendary. Catherine stepped forward, her expression carved from stone. War Prime Zarthuk, this is Commander Catherine Jo of the Terran Colonial Defense Force. I have a counter-proposal: turn your fleet around and leave this system. Do this, and you'll live to see tomorrow. The alien's laughter was a chittering rasp that sent shivers through the crew. Bold words from a species that bleeds so easily. We have studied your kind, human. Your colonies fall before us like wheat before the scythe. You will be no different. Then come and take it, Catherine said softly, cutting the transmission. Clark turned to her, confusion and fear warring in his expression. Catherine, what are you doing? We've got maybe 20 fighters in this platform. They'll tear us apart in minutes. She smiled then, and it was not a pleasant expression. That's what they think. Activate protocol, Artemis. Clark's eyes widened. But the casualties alone were calculated and accepted when we established this colony. Catherine interrupted. Every colonist here knew the risks. They voted. 87% approved. Now activate the protocol. With trembling hands, Clark entered the authorization codes. Throughout the colony, hidden beneath farms, residential sectors, and industrial complexes, systems that had lain dormant for 3 years hummed to life. The Vrexian fleet moved into attack formation, their weapons arrays charging with deadly intent. They had done this 100 times before on 100 different worlds. The pattern was always the same: overwhelming firepower, tactical superiority, and the crushing weight of numbers. The first wave of Vrexian fighters launched, screaming toward the orbital platform. Catherine watched them come, her hands clasped behind her back. Mark, she said quietly. The space between the planet and the attacking fleet suddenly came alive. What the Vrexians had dismissed as debris fields and asteroid fragments revealed their true nature. Each piece was a dormant mine, packed with enough antimatter to vaporize a cruiser. The humans had spent 3 years seeding the orbital approach vectors with thousands of them. The Vrexian fighters flew straight into the trap. The explosions created a chain reaction, a cascade of stellar fire that consumed wave after wave of attackers. 15 capital ships vanished in the first 30 seconds, their shields overwhelmed by the coordinated detonations. The Vrexian formation, once perfect in its military precision, dissolved into chaos. But Catherine wasn't finished. Clark released the Hornets from concealed bays across the colony's surface. Thousands of autonomous drone fighters launched. They were crude things by Vrexian standards, built from scrap metal and colony equipment, powered by fusion reactors jury-rigged from mining equipment. But they were fast, expendable, and they didn't need to survive just to get close. Each Hornet carried a payload of weaponized quantum crystals, unstable isotopes that the colonists had discovered. could be induced to release catastrophic amounts of energy when properly triggered. The drones swarmed the Vrexian fleet like angry wasps, their simple AI cores driving them into kamikaze runs against shields, hulls, and weapon emplacements. War Prime's Arctic S flagship shuddered as 3 Hornets penetrated his defensive screen and detonated against the port hull. Alarms screamed across his bridge. Impossible. He shrieked. They're primitives, farmers and miners. His tactical officer's voice was hollow. War Prime, we've lost 41 ships. The attack patterns they're using our own formations against us. They knew exactly where we'd position our fleet, because they had. Catherine had studied every Vrexian engagement for the past 5 years. She'd analyzed their tactics, their arrogance, their unwavering belief in their own superiority. And she'd built a defense designed specifically to exploit every predictable move they would make. Phase 2, Catherine commanded, the orbital platform's primary weapon. Disguised as a communications ray, rotated to face the Vrexian flagship. It wasn't a laser or a plasma cannon, it was something humanity had developed. In the darkest days of their expansion, something they'd hoped never to use again. A gravitational lance. The weapon fired, and space itself bent. The beam created a localized gravity well so intense that it crushed everything in its path, compacting matter to impossible densities. War Prime's Arctic S flagship folded inward like paper, its hull crumpling. Its crew liquefied in MICROSECONDS. The remaining Vrexian ships broke formation, attempting to flee. They found the same minefields waiting for them on every exit vector. Catherine had planned for retreat as thoroughly as she'd planned for attack. In 43 minutes, it was over. Where once 63 Vrexian warships had hung in the void, there remained only expanding clouds of debris and the fading heat signatures of annihilated matter. Not a single alien vessel escaped. Clark stared at the tactical display, his face pale. We did it. We actually did it. Catherine nodded slowly, though her expression remained grim. We did, and now they know what? That humans don't build colonies, we build fortresses. That we don't surrender our worlds, we turn them into graveyards. For anyone foolish enough to try taking them, she turned to face him fully. The Vrexians came here expecting easy prey. They found predators instead. News of the Battle of Perseus 7 spread through both human and alien space like wildfire. The Vrexian Empire, which had seemed unstoppable, suddenly faced a terrifying truth: humanity wouldn't be conquered. Every human colony became a potential death trap. Every settlement a hidden arsenal. The Vrexians never attacked another human world. And Catherine Joe's name became legend, whispered in 100 languages across 1,000 stars. The woman who had turned a farming colony into a mass grave, who had shown the galaxy what humans did to those who threatened their homes. They came to take a colony. Humanity gave them extinction.